Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. Welcome. Want to tell you, sponsored by Dispose, small garbage company that I ain't gonna keep saying small, but I can tell you they can do big things. Try them out. We got an upcoming website, and again, I'm adding some things to my page. But one of the things I want you to do is give us a holler and see what we can do for you.
Right.
Now, has this show changed? We changed it. So again, find out all the changes by checking us out. Just go to Dispose. Got a new little small page out there now. We're gonna have a bigger page out there for you a little bit later. Now, gotta get back to my man. That is Craftmatic. How you doing, big baby?
Man, I'm doing good. Doing good once again, bro. Always excited about our show, especially tonight's show. Because, this is a deep subject tonight. And just glad to be here, man. Glad, life is good. Family's good, everything's lovely, so just keep it on with the keep it on, bro. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. I was a little worried about your last show. I was about to say, all right, Crab.
What you talking about? Worried about me, man?
My doggone Craftmatic beat him, boy. If you didn't know how good this man is, you just found out. I'll tell you, spiritual guy, man.
Yeah.
Great guy. I'm telling you, I got to give you your praise, man.
Man. And let's give all praises to our Father, because this is Bar Talk with Jay. And we are just grateful to be here tonight to just have a great dialogue with you and give you an opportunity to listen, measure your own understanding about the subject, decide who you are, who you're going to be next time some of these situations come up. This show is all about self-analysis and taking a real look at the world. We cover subjects that are a little beneath the surface, but everybody's dealing with it, and by the time we get into any one of these topics, you're going to feel where we're going. So we're grateful for you being here tonight. We got a host of people on Facebook Live, and we thank you folks for joining us tonight. I'm going to pay homage to you just a little later on in the show, but thank you for being here, and we always start the show off with a prayer. So why don't we go ahead and get it started?
Go ahead, Craft, man. You already on one, big baby?
Okay. I don't even know what I'm going to pray about tonight. You got a subject in hand?
Man, healing.
Healing, okay. Heavenly Father, we just come into your presence right now, just thanking you for your awesome healing. The healing of our minds, the healing of our bodies, the healing of our lives, the healings of our situations and circumstances. We are constantly fighting the enemies and fighting apathy and challenges and problems and our inner worries and doubts, and we just thank you, Father, for massive healing in our lives tonight. We receive that healing by the anointing of Jesus Christ, and we thank you, Father, for this awesome show, and we ask that you would do your good and perfect work here tonight. Let us be healed by the nature of this show. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If y'all didn't feel that, I don't know what you're feeling.
I'm feeling healing. You know what that does, man? As I was praying, what came to my mind was that I'm asking for resolution. I'm asking the Lord to come to my rescue and resolve the thing that is concerning me. And too often times we walk around in life holding all of these burdens in our hands, these heavy weights, and sometimes it's our baggage that we carry from the past, and sometimes it's baggage that we've been carrying from birth, and sometimes it's thinking about the problems that we're going to face tomorrow. It is so important, folks, to get in line with the God which you serve and hand him over your problem and let it go. I promise you, he'll do fantastic work if you'll just allow him to. And you really ain't got to do nothing more than ask. That's what's so simplistic about the power of God, is you just simply ask and seek it, and you shall find it. He shall come to your rescue, man. Powerful stuff, bro.
I feel your anointing.
Yes, man, yes.
Say it, Craft.
And I'm telling you, I just see miraculous happenings all the time. It isn't something that is just an anomaly, but I see it because I speak Rhema words, and Rhema things happen all the time. Okay. So I'm just so passionate about that, because I think people are leaving a lot of themselves and their lives on the table because they don't know where their power comes from. And rather than getting focused in prayer, they'll get focused on a whole lot of other things. Prayer is the answer, right?
To the world.
Yeah. One pastor of mine said the answer is in the prayer. The answer cometh forth right as you pray. And,
Say it again.
Take some experience to get there, but that is the whole truth. Let's go ahead and cover last week's topic, which was another very interesting topic.
Yeah.
The question was, would you leave your partner that you're madly in love with because you don't want to get married?
Oh yeah, that went all over the boat.
That went all over the boat.
Yes, a lot of people
Yeah.
say, yes, I'm out. I'm
Yes.
checking out quickly.
Yes.
There's going to be some people that's like, well, we didn't talk about it, so we got to lead ourselves into it. So again, it's going to be a personal choice.
Right.
But a lot of times, I was reading on Facebook, oh, they was going in and ham. They're like, oh, like Jeffrey.
Yeah.
It's your opinion.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is also going to be how you communicate.
Yeah.
And again, if that other person's not ready, you can't force them. So the only thing you can do is move on.
Yeah.
Or be patient to realize everybody ain't going to be in the same place you are.
Right.
So to force yourself onto somebody or feeling like you have the right to tell somebody where they need to be
Right.
is really ludicrous.
It is ludicrous. It is, and that just happens to be two individuals, perhaps in two different places. That's what it ultimately, I think, comes down to. They can share a space, they can share each other's company, they can share days of the week and evenings, etc. But when it comes time to sharing a commitment, they happen to be in two different places. And there's no right or wrong in that, because feelings aren't right or wrong; they're just feelings. And we oftentimes get caught up in the feeling part of it, but neither is right and neither is wrong. So I just want to take a little pressure off of everybody who might be beating themselves up in one of these situations right now. One gentleman said it to me this week. He said,
What is that?
happiness or marriage?
I'm going with
And-
happiness.
Yes, happiness.
I'm going with happiness.
Are you happy? Do you have happiness among the two of you? If you have happiness among the two of you, then nothing else really matters. Now, Brother Jeffrey would beg to differ, because he talked about being able to take over assets and write checks out the account, and insurance possibilities and all of that other, who owns the stuff that you create. And maybe that matters to a lot of people, but I think happiness is what we're all looking for. And if you got happiness, then you can get all that other assigned over to you if you need to. Right?
Say it again.
That's what wills are for, right? Here's another big question that came out of last week.
What's that?
There are reasons why people don't decide they want to marry the person who wants to get married.
Uh-huh.
What are those reasons?
So they
There's some real reasons.
They might fuss a lot. They might argue a lot. They
Yeah.
might have a lot of bad habits.
They might have a lot of bad habits.
And again, these things have been addressed but never been changed,
Right.
but yet they still want what they want. So
Right.
again, I like to say, you really got to make sure y'all align.
Yeah.
It's and I hate to say it's a business.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that everything is aligned, and that way we can still grow together, even though we don't see eye to eye that day.
Right.
But we long term already know where our eye is on.
Right.
We have a goal, so we can get back to the goal, even though we don't stand on the same understanding at that time.
Yes, and I think what came out of it for me, and I said this maybe even a couple times during the show, is that it seems as though the decision to marry is not necessarily about love. It seems that it takes more than just love in order to marry someone. And oftentimes we don't want to think about it that way, because we think that marriage is the end all be all of love, but we're talking about a person that you'll share your life and all your time and all your space with, and each person has to feel comfortable. Now, there could be some other underlying reasons. Maybe someone has a lot of debt. Maybe somebody again has a lot of bad habits. Maybe the person who's not wanting to get married is simply not ready. They're just simply not ready for their own reason. And again, that reason isn't right or wrong. But let me tell you, folks, we did a great job of dissecting that show. There was so many profound ideas and messages that came out of it. I would encourage you to go and take a look at it. Once again, we are all over the internet: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes.
Keep going.
Where else? What about
Black Planet, back pages. We try to hit everything we can. The Studio Head.
Yeah,
which is
Studio
on,
Head.
Yeah, it's the new one. This is
Yeah.
gonna be on iPhone.
Yeah.
And we got new things coming, so we'll be on a
Check
lot
this
more
out.
platforms.
Check this out. Our brother C over there, he put me on this Google podcast. Okay. And when you just type in Google Podcasts and go to googlepodcast.com, and there are thousands and thousands of podcasts, or perhaps hundreds of them for sure, but we are there, and all of our shows are there in perfect alignment. I'm telling you, it looks like we did some extra special stuff, you know what I mean?
we have.
And perhaps you did, you know what I mean, because you're handling all that. But take a look at us, folks. You know, we're not a quick fix show. We're not a 5 or 10 minute show and a 30-minute show for you to get a quick fix. We dive deep into these subjects because we want to really get more understanding and more dialogue. That's where the healing is, and that's where the healing can begin, is by you having a dialogue, or at the very least hearing a great dialogue on some of these subjects. So check it out. Let's move on to our quote for the week. And it's an interesting quote, and it's kind of a deep quote, so deep that I think just reading it doesn't quite give it justice. So I want to paraphrase it a little bit. You know, I'm going to read through it quickly, but then I'm going to quickly paraphrase it. So it goes like this.
Barbara, Macon, Georgia.
Most people do the things they do because they're paying attention to what they're missing rather than what they have. If someone is willing to do anything for you, ride through the waves with you, help you when you're sick, and nourish you back to health, put things aside to help you with your dreams, then you actually cheated yourself out of someone's loyalty to you. And what she's really referring to is our subject for tonight, which is about cheating. And it goes like this. You got someone in your life, they're loving you, they're doing everything, they'll ride through the waves, they're on your team, and then you cheat on them.
Ouch.
And when you cheat on them, you actually cheated yourself out of that other person's loyalty. And so it's a great segue into our topic for tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and share the topic just because it's such a fitting time. The question tonight.
What's the question?
Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
Hey, wait, whoa, shots fired, shots fired. What? Oh, Lord. Can you punch me in the stomach?
Let me read that again. God, you such a great job with these, man. Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
Do you want to hurt somebody's feelings?
The question causes us to take a look at some behaviors. And
we snitching tonight.
People who cheat always tell on themselves, and have been telling on themselves since the first day they started cheating. The question is, do you know what to look for? And when you find it, what are you going to do about it?
Now that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, and you know, I think we've all been cheated on at one point or another.
And it's very hurtful.
And oh man, I want to talk about that, because that is what I think is one of the most pivotal parts of the conversation, is how it affects people and their psyche and their hearts and their lives. It really can take people back, and we're going to spend some loving time on that. Barbara has a quick segment for me, and I'm just going to take about 2 minutes to do this. And the question goes like this. How do you bring God into a relationship? I got 3 simple ways.
Okay.
Pray together.
Right.
Both people may not be praying people, but if you will decide that you're going to come together in agreement in front of the Lord, He'll be there to listen. Number 2, if you're not together, just ask the Lord yourself to come into your relationship. Just close your door, close your eyes, and just sit right there wherever you are, in the office, at work, on the road, wherever. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But I want you to just take the time.
Faith right.
See, Lord exists in the silence of your mind. He exists in the silence of your mind. So when you get into that silence, you are right there with Him. And I'm asking you to ask Him to come into your relationship. Thirdly, it's just simply meditate on the Lord. Meditate, and then I'll do quotation marks on the Lord. Just simply come and ask Him for some help about your relationship. Just simply come and ask Him to change some things and to open your mind and to give you revelation about what's going on and how you can heal it and how you can make things better and how you can help someone who may need to be helped but fighting because they don't want no help. You might be in a situation where only God can fix this thing. And I encourage you to come to him. Come to him with your partner. Go to him alone. Ask him to come into your relationship, or just simply meditate on him. He knows what you need already before you ask. And so when you just open your mouth and, petition on your own behalf for him to come through and do a good and perfect work, he'll be right there to hear you. And I promise you, he will not let you down.
Say it again.
He will not let you down. So it is time for us to go to our first break. Again, we are talking about, do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Shots fired.
I don't
for
know
real.
what's happening at your house, but I'm just saying, shots fired.
So it's going to be a great show. We're glad you folks joined us tonight, and y'all stay tuned. I'm going to play a few familiars, but some great music that'll hopefully keep you tuned in during the break. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Back with Bar Talk with Jay. Man, I was trying to get that person that look like him, that is him, that always gets home, that be in the streets, doing his thing in Philly for me.
Right?
Wasn't able to get him.
That's all right.
Man,
That's all right.
It happens. Everybody doing things. I get it.
Okay.
But I wanted to hit the streets, crowd.
I know you did.
I wanted to know about this topic because I wanted to know what they doing tonight.
Right.
But it wasn't
They're
able.
gonna have the same answer next time,
Yeah.
But
I'm still mad.
we might as well carry on, shall we?
Okay, well, I guess we might as well go ahead and have some fun with it.
All right, folks, welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay. And tonight's subject is, do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
No, I know everybody love to think so.
Everybody love
to think so.
Everybody love to think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a couple things you want to ask yourself. And this is one of the things I laugh about. You always want to look at somebody and be like, yo, okay, like, this is mine. You want ownership of with the person that you with. And I know that sounds bad, ownership, but again, you want to
We know
own
what you mean.
the relationship.
Yeah,
You ain't just totally,
exclusivity.
yeah, and you don't want nobody else to mess with it, but not realizing somebody was with her before you. But to you, no, this is like untainted. This is just mine, you know.
Yeah.
And then when she started talking about other people she dated, you like, no,
I don't want to hear that.
And she's like, well, why can't I tell you about my past? Because your past is contaminating my damn brain. I don't want to hear this, because
That's a good point. Nobody wants to think about
somebody else
drilling
dead.
they lady, or they do.
Oh,
Nobody wants to think about that. But when you start even contemplating the fact that they might be cheating, you have to entertain that.
Yeah.
Even if anything comes up and you say, you know what, something wasn't right there, something didn't go right there, there's a missing piece of the puzzle, you automatically have to begin the assumption of cheating, and that they're with someone else, and that could be taking time with someone else. That could mean text messages all day, phone calls all day, emails perhaps. They may be on some, instant message, Instagram, whatever, doing personal messages to one another.
DM.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's many ways to communicate with someone when they want to step out. And so when you start contemplating that, now you got to start asking yourself all kinds of questions.
What kind of questions, Chris?
Where are they right now? And what are they doing right now?
Is that when they be blowing you up? You notice, like, when they feel like you're doing something, they seem to make sure they call. They'll call, they text, text, then they call. And then when you get them, and you're already kind of busy, and you be like, yes.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Right.
Oh, you know you was. And they
No.
automatically lead you. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
see-
gotta say nothing.
No, see, I don't
What?
want to give away no secrets, Jay.
Go ahead, man.
But what you are describing is
Uh-huh.
the life of a single man.
Oh, I mean, well, hell, I am
Not
a single
some-
player.
right? And you are single, right?
Exactly.
And that's what you describing. So that, you know, you might be doing one thing and somebody call it in and you don't have to answer that phone,
I mean-
right? You're not obligated
Right.
to answer that phone.
Right.
You don't have to talk to them till next week if you don't
No.
want to. But when you're in a relationship
You have to.
and you know, you call your spouse at the
Uh-huh.
time you think they might be messing around and they don't answer the phone,
You get a little angry.
you get very upset. You be
get a
like,
little
where the
pissed off.
hell you at? And what you doing? Because I can feel something going on. See, that's the thing about it.
But what if they-
when somebody's cheating, you can feel it.
But what if your feelings wrong?
Your feelings aren't typically wrong.
Not always, but
They
they
can
can
be.
be.
They can be. They can be.
Because if you see a
misrepresented.
person that's very busy,
Yeah.
that's really doing the most because he got a plan all of a sudden.
Right.
Now this is where I'm going to definitely say I'm going to contradict myself. Because if I really got a plan on getting us ahead and I'm doing all this extra, you should know about it.
You should, if
Okay.
you can handle it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, a lot of times you don't because I'm just trying to make this work and then I show you better than I can tell you because that's
Right.
sometimes how I feel.
Right.
Sometimes telling everything and not doing it makes you look like a straight idiot.
Right.
Do it.
Do
Put
it.
it in the work.
Right.
So
Right.
a lot of times when it
Like
comes to
straight
relationships,
idiot.
I'm not quick to just give everything to you, but I like to give you some things because I like to talk it into reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And again,
So-
when it comes to me doing that, I'm very active. I'm doing things, and I'm always talking to different people to make these things happen. So of course, you're gonna get somebody to be like, "Well, you single, you talk to everybody, you just cheating.
You must be out cheating. You
Right.
must be
And
out
you wasting your
dating
time."
a lot of women.
Well, somebody will
And
realize
they
if a
might
man
not
has
be
a
wrong.
destiny and a purpose and a drive,
Yeah.
we don't always take time for that because that takes us off path. But people don't realize that because they feel like I'm always going to do what I used to do. Well, just because I used to do it don't mean you need to remind me of my past. My past didn't help me all the time. It made me realize it didn't get me where I wanted to be, so I had to make some changes. You just reminded me of what I used to do. That's great. That's fine.
Yeah.
It only lets
But
me know
watch
that you
this.
don't understand my change.
But watch this, Jay. But watch this. Okay. Now I'm feeling your
Go with my vibe.
I'm feeling you articulate right
Go
now,
with
right?
my vibe.
But the person who you're talking to
Right.
has experienced something that is out of alignment.
Right.
And
And they
they are
know.
questioning, they're asking, they are objectively saying, okay,
And they know.
what's going on
I
here?
didn't call, Craig. I
Right?
was busy.
Where was you at last night?
But I was
right?
busy, Craig.
Yeah, you was busy. Exactly.
They got a big- but I was
And
busy.
listen, and they was right.
Oh, hell no, they weren't. See, this is where we
I'm
go back
I'm
to different.
I'm gonna play a song in a little bit by Music Soul Child, and he basically the song's called My Bad, and basically he was saying, you know, he said, never give up information you don't have to. Anything just shy of a lie is all right, right?
Oh,
Do not give in, deflect, or make known that you can to. He said, whatever it takes to get by. And at the end of that phrase, all those phrases, he said, but only if you knew, you guessed it. You guessed it. He said, you were right. Yeah. We're going to play that song in just a
Okay,
minute, man.
okay.
So here's the thing.
But when
Here's the thing.
when I'm
Here's
really
the-
wrong. When
Well, because you're not in a relationship, you're not wrong, right? But if you was in a relationship
Mhm.
and you didn't pick up that phone
Mhm.
when somebody's calling you or trying to reach out to you, or there's so many other behaviors that
Right.
go along
But
with
that mean I'm
cheating.
wrong? Just don't pick up the phone.
No, that don't mean you're wrong,
Okay.
but that means you could be wrong.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, just because you pick up the phone don't mean necessarily mean you're wrong,
Right.
but it might insinuate that you're doing something you ain't got no business doing. And it happens quite often. You send a text to somebody and they've been texting with you, all of a sudden you don't get a text back for 2-3 hours. What's going on? That you couldn't just shoot me a text back. Text takes, 10 seconds, right?
Might
There's
take
something
10
going
seconds,
on,
but
right?
I'm stroking. And I'm trying to finish my stroke.
And listen, she could feel that. She could feel
Now
that
she couldn't
energy.
feel it. The one I was with was feeling it.
No, the other
Well,
one could feel
she
it
ain't
too.
feeling it.
You just don't understand
She
how
was
it works.
just texting over and
The
over.
point is that there's a lot of behavior that goes along with cheating,
Right.
and we were talking about how easy it is for people to reach out to other people and communicate with them and make plans and all that other good stuff. we have to become mindful of those things once we suspect them of cheating or stepping out, right? And we're going to talk about some of those behaviors later on in the show. But ultimately, what all of them do are they create doubt, right? And they create doubt. They create enough doubt for you to start asking more questions, right? And C was talking earlier when I introduced the subject to him.
Wait, what C say?
See, he said, listen, here's the question, right? Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
Right.
And he said the key word there is honestly.
See?
He said, will you take an honest assessment of the situation, or will you fool yourself already knowing what's going on? It was a great point, because a lot of times we see stuff and we might not question it because we don't want to disrupt the environment. We don't want to have to deal with the reality answer to those questions.
Why?
People run from the truth sometimes.
Why?
Because it's easy. It's easy to run. It's easy to run from the truth. He's cheating, but you might not want to say that.
Did you ever notice everybody that ran from Jason Fatal? I'm talking about Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Frank 13. Everybody's seen the fall, all right? So I ain't trying to fall down, and that man ain't killing me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to face some of the things that you already fear, because
Right.
it really causes more problems.
Right.
And again, you could be wrong.
Right.
And that person need to prove themselves right, and then that way you can put it to rest.
And listen,
And that's not always happening.
and I think we're going to spend a great deal of time on this show tonight talking about addressing it. Once you start discovering some things, addressing it can kind of cause a fire.
Yeah.
And especially if the person is a great liar or a manipulator, or maybe they're not doing anything and they're offended by the accusation that they might be cheating. And
That's usually a sign that they are.
If they're offended.
Yeah. Oh, I don't believe you.
I can't believe you said that about me.
You own something.
How could I cheat? I go from straight to work and straight to home. I tend to the kids and everybody saying about them 2-hour lunches you take, and I don't hear from your ass.
What?
Right.
Don't go straight to
going
voicemail.
on, right? Because you used to call me during that period.
Busy.
Now you're busy.
Busy.
Okay. Now I'm starting
snitching
to get
now.
it. Now I'm starting-
Snitching.
Yeah. I
But
get it.
remember, busy can be different. Busy doing wrong, or busy actually trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
I will promise you, if a person is really doing business and he's making something happen, you should see it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Something that of busy on the other end of personal, satisfying yourself, that ain't gonna be shown, because you don't want that to be known.
Right.
So I ain't trying to give out no hints on what you're looking for or nothing, because this ain't no snitch show. This is just an educational show to realize that is the person you with the only person that you with. And that right there, I can't answer. And that's why I say honestly.
Yeah, and those people who have a notion, or you got a gut feeling that something is wrong, you got to start asking some questions, because you're basically, if they are cheating, you're being robbed, and they have you at a disadvantage, and you need to come out of that. You know what I mean? You just can't stay in a situation where somebody's taking advantage of you. They got somebody else out there, and I'm gonna end this segment by saying this.
What you gonna say there, Brent?
That God sees everything. He can see everything that happens. He can see your intentions. He can see your moves. The good book says that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. And if you go out and cheat on somebody who you made a commitment to, or you are married to, you have made a vow to him that you will do right. And he's watching you do wrong if you are out there cheating. He can see everything that you do. And everything that you do will have a price to pay. Your greatest dreams may be taken away from you because you robbed somebody else of integrity. You robbed somebody else of their right to know the truth. And so you got to be careful, because this world is all circular. And what goes around comes around. He sees everything that you're doing. You can never escape him. Any parting words on that before we go to break, Jay?
I would say yes. One of the things to know when you're out there and you're doing these things, simply, if this is what you feel like you want to do, then don't get in a monogamous relationship.
Right.
Do not get married right away.
Right.
And take time to yourself because again, and I said it before in different shows, Jesus wasn't married.
Right.
And I'm not telling nobody not to get married. It's just you got to honor that vow if that's what you do.
Right.
And if you really do like being out here, being worldly and spreading yourself and doing all that, be honest with the person that you're dealing with. Let them kind of know what you're doing, which is kind of an oxymoron because normally when you tell them that, they get upset and they get in your behind.
They don't want you no
But
more.
the bottom line is that you still got to give them the option. Well, you can't cheat a person out of some options because it tends to make people enraged. I learned that the hard way. You don't want to just lie to a person and make them feel like I'm only talking to you. You're the only person I'm dealing with, and I really love you, knowing you out there doing everything else. And then when it catches up to you, your words is what's gonna hang you.
Yeah.
So to me, when I tell somebody, yes, I'm talking to you, but I'm single and I talk to other people, I just date. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna get a lot of backlash,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But even in that backlash, you got to stand true because bottom line, you're trying to do right. Just because I'm doing this now don't mean I'm going to continue doing it.
Yeah.
And everybody don't feel that way. Some people feel like, no, you just a hoe, this, that, the other. Why are you judging me when I'm trying to do an honest thing?
Right.
I'm honestly trying to do me in a way that I can get back into that relationship where I don't have to do that. That's an option and a choice that I have that you feel like I shouldn't.
Okay.
Don't take away my choices.
There you go. There you go. And it is time for us to take another break. I do believe we got the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey coming on next. And so if you folks will stay with us, there's so much more I have to say on this subject because we haven't covered, all the areas yet. So y'all stay tuned. I hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. Here we go.
Me and Crab went in, but
Yeah, we did, and we ain't even get to our segment.
we got the 8 o'clock time, baby.
We
We
do.
going
We
back. But guess what? It's
Yeah.
that time to find out about that person.
Okay.
That we gotta know how his day went.
Yeah.
Because he be slapping the taste out of people's mouths.
Right.
So let's find out how his day went today. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby? Jeffrey? Did we lose him?
Chirp, chirp, cricket, cricket.
Oh no.
Yeah, he hung up.
We get him back on. So,
This weekend.
yeah. So,
Sound like somebody coming back.
and somebody coming back in. Okay, we'll give him another chance.
Hit him in.
And I can't read the names on the board. We want to thank you folks again for being with us tonight. We always just want to put together a great dialogue and just nurture you folks with some good information. I hope you're enjoying the topic and of course the show for tonight. Because
Jeffrey, we got you this time.
this is
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
We lost you for a second there, but we got him back,
We got
Jeffrey.
the- Yes, sir. What's been going on, man? How you doing, bruh?
Oh, man. Listen, when I tell you that today was a busy day and they tried your black on 9 to 5, I am not making an understatement. But we made it through. We persevered. We came out sunny, and in spite of all of that,
Yeah.
you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. This is time for you to close your mouth and listen.
Mm-hmm.
You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now listen, I got 2 reasons. One reason for the habitually single woman, and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into all of that, here is my disclaimer. Now see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. If it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Now ladies, you go first.
Okay.
Ladies, some of you are single simply because your intuition is off. I love talking about this one. Now, this is how you know your intuition is off. Your intuition is off because you are bitter. You're bitter because that man left you, or that man didn't treat you well, or he cheated on you, or he disappointed you, or he forgot to do the things that were most important to you. So what you do is you project that bitterness and that uncalibrated intuition onto that new man, and that good man tries to help you. He tries to heal you. He tries to work with you, but he gets nowhere. He gets nowhere because it's safer for you to be in love with that hurt. It's safer for you to be in love with that bitterness. It's safer for you to run a good man off than it is for you to love on yourself and take the risk of loving hard and risk being hurt. So when that good man comes along and he gets tired, when that good man comes along and he's done all that he can do and he can't do no more, well, you're going to add him to that pile and say, ain't no man, no good. And you're going to be right there with that bitterness and with that hurt and that messed up calibrated intuition at home by yourself single.
Messed up, calibrated. Oh, Lord.
Messed up, calibrated intuition. Listen, you are off course when you got a messed up, calibrated, uncalibrated intuition. Boy, I tell you what. Intuition is off. I was really interested to hear where he was about to go with that, and I love it because it is bitterness from old relationships that will stifle or close the door of opportunity on your new relationships. Sure. And when you start projecting stuff onto people, period, your expectations or your wants or your needs or what the last person done or what the last person didn't do, etc., you really are putting putting old wine into new wineskins, and that does not work. Right? That does not work. Or put new wine in old wineskins, whatever. If you got it wrong, you got it wrong. And so, what a powerful word. Any comment, Jay?
No, man, he did that one.
Yeah.
I'm about to find out why they so bitter.
Bitterness, man, that's big. With that. All right, Brother Jeffrey, we'll turn it back over to you.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting you off the hook. Fellas, you are next.
All right.
All right, fellas, now simply put, some of y'all are single because you too damn nice. I don't want you to get it twisted. Of course you're supposed to treat your woman well. Of course you're supposed to look out for your woman and elevate and exalt your woman. Of course you're supposed to do those things. But damn it, a woman has to be put in her place sometimes. I don't give a damn what a woman says. Sometimes you need to bring that masculine energy in and put your damn foot down. Now, I'm saying now, you don't run over a woman. You do this out of love, but don't get it twisted. You got to be able to tell your woman no and mean it. When you tell your woman no and you got a reason for the no and that no sticks to the vision, it sticks to the plan, your woman will receive it. She might not like it, and I can guarantee you 99% of them won't like it. But when you tell them no, what it's going to do is it's going to remind her that she is dealing with a man. I tell you what, a woman can get her way with just about any guy out there if she got a little bit going on for herself. A little old nice little booty, a little old nice set of breasts, a cute smile and some cute eyes. She can pretty much find a guy that she can get over on.
Right.
But that guy that will take her and meet her where she is and set her ass straight will always stand out above the man that's so nice. Now, fellas, don't get it twisted. I'm going to remind you, I said that you have to love her or check her out of love. Mm-hmm. It takes a certain amount of strong, positive, comfortable masculinity to be able to do that. You don't do that a soft way. You do it in a firm, loving way. And when you say no, say it like this. I said no. Put some bass in your damn voice. And you know what it will do for her? It will turn her on. But you too damn nice. Thinking she gonna treat you right because you give her every damn thing she wants. All you did was spoil her, and you don't even eat spoiled fruit. That's why you're sitting over there single.
For a very long time.
Yes, sir.
Now,
too damn nice.
I like to say that seemed to be true.
That's true. That's very true.
Seemed to be true. The nice guys finish last. I mean, that's why that statement came about. So
in a worldly way, nice guys finish last.
I mean, they finished, but bottom line is, it seemed like they finished last because of that.
Yeah, it does seem
it's
like
everybody plays him because he's just that nice person.
Right.
But you stand your ground and say no.
And I always wondered if people like that somehow or another find a major blessing from the Lord because they have been disadvantaged by people who took their niceness for granted. You know, I know it's a sign of weakness to be too damn nice, but somewhere I believe that the Lord might reward that. You know, or you know, on the other hand, He might curse that because you're not fulfilling the fruits that a man's supposed to fulfill. And so I guess it could go either way. But being too nice just never seems to work. See, when you're too nice, that means you give up what you want most of the time. And you keep your mouth shut, and you're being controlled, perhaps manipulated by your outer environment because you don't want to upset the environment. And that's just not the way to be. You got to stand on what you are and what you want and what you will stand for in your household. If you don't, then I promise you, she'll find some new standards to measure in your household that you just might not be down with. So, powerful message, Brother Jeffrey. We'll turn it back over to you.
All right now I need everybody to understand that we're looking for the easy way out in our relationships.
Yeah.
We're looking for our relationships to be easy because sometimes hard is painful. Sometimes difficult is hurtful. Sometimes when you got to stick with somebody that hurts your feelings, you know, it gets a little scary. The bottom line of it is everybody has the capacity to hurt your feelings, including yourself.
Right.
But what you got to do is you got to put the work in. Stop being scared. Stop thinking every relationship is going to be perfect. I love the Cosby Show. The Huxtables don't exist in reality. Everybody has ups and downs. So what you got to do is you got to learn to get through those ups and downs. If you break your arm, when your arm heals in the area that it was broken, it becomes stronger. So if your relationship has some struggles and it damages the relationship, if you heal from it, the relationship should be stronger. But no, we sit around, playing around, thinking everything's going to be easy in this relationship. We're running away from what's hard, running to what's easy, and that keeps our relationships and our households divided. No, we got to do the work. We got to put the effort in. We got to get back to the essence of the strength in the bond between the black man and the black woman. And once we do that, we pass that bond down to our black children. And when we pass it down to our black children, they go forth and they create a bond with other black children, and they build up the community. And when the community is built back up from the inside, well, there is nothing that anybody from the outside can do to tear it asunder. And that's all I got.
That's good. That's good stuff, Jeffrey.
I got a question for you, Brother Jeffrey, because this is fairly close to home. The question goes a little something like this. Some people run because it's real easy to do. Some people run after they've waited way too long. What is the statute of limitation for putting in the hard work before you decide that it's time to go?
All right, I love it. Now, first of all, that type of stick-to-itness should be saved for a marriage, in Jeffrey's personal opinion. But here's the thing. If there has been infidelity and the person who committed the transgression is doing the work to repair the damage, you stick with them.
Okay.
You stick with them. If they are making a sincere effort to correct what they've done, you stick with them, and then you forgive them, and then you let it go.
Right.
Here's the thing. If you cannot forgive and you cannot let it go, and they're putting forth all those good actions, but you just ain't receiving it, it's time for you to go. Because your heart is no longer in it.
Right.
You are wasting away in that relationship, and you can figure that out real fast.
Yeah.
If that man apologizes, or that woman apologizes, and then you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night thinking, I should stab him or her. You need to leave that relationship because you got some bitterness inside of you. I want everybody to understand, honestly now, if they're doing the work, and you just aren't open to receiving the work that they're doing, then the time limit is up. Because you're not going to forgive them in that relationship. You can forgive them once you're out of the relationship.
Yeah.
And you can forgive yourself once you're out of the relationship. But don't stay in that relationship being bitter, holding on to a hurt that person is working trying to let go of and make up for.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other side is, if they're running from the hurt that they caused. So, a quick question for you, Brother Jeffrey. Just a couple of minutes here. And I'm not asking specifically about you and your personal relationship. I'd just like to hear your aura of commentary on how you would address this particular question. Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
Woo! Hell no. Hell no. Because in this day and age, if we're not in a committed relationship, there are no guarantees. And it is the height of arrogance for you to believe that you're putting it the Wayne Dang Doodle down that hard where she only staying with you.
Right.
Or for a woman to say she got that fire and he only staying with you. Hell no. But you got to do what you feel about it now. Unless you have a commitment. Unless you are married. Unless there's some type of agreement that says this is what we are going to do. Hell no.
Okay.
Operate in a way that protects yourself, that honors and respects your own personal health, and you keep it pushing until you get a definition, a defined relationship from either that man or from that woman.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good. No.
Come on now.
He always catches off guard with that one, too.
You remind me of that pre hell to the no. No.
That's good, man. That's good.
No.
Hell to the no.
What?
Hey, listen, man, we got to get out of here. Any parting words for us?
Oh
Man, listen. I love the fact that I'm a father. I love the fact that I'm a grandfather. Ain't nothing like being a man. Because what we get to do is put in that hard work to uphold and build the foundation of the community. When traded for a thing. Men, don't duck your responsibilities. Take care of your seed, and they'll take care of you. That's all I got.
And that's all we need. We appreciate you, the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey, and we'll look forward to hearing from you next week, my friend.
All right, peace out.
All right. And folks, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We are right on schedule. This is Bar Talk with Jay. I'm Kraft Maddox, my boy Smooth Jay. And we'll be right back.
Bar Talk with Jay. Man, we got a discussion for y'all tonight. I don't know if y'all paying attention to what we're talking about.
Yes.
Jeffrey hit home with some things. Wasn't able to get my boy Jamal on. He was gonna hit the streets for us.
Yeah.
Gotta get that one day. We gotta get that out there.
We'll probably catch him next week, because we know he handling business over there.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, we've got some folks with us tonight, and I just want to recognize them. First of all, I just want to say a quick shout out to Dejuan Ross. He made a few comments, and I think he was suggesting that cheating is in our blood.
Okay,
he says it's in our blood, and that's all he got to say.
Duck, bob, and weed, bro.
I think he also mentioned that in the African culture, we always had more than one woman. And I don't really know what that's all about. But
it sounds like you're just trying to be a player.
I'm not familiar with that culture, but I've never heard of it either. I'm definitely going to start going back and asking some of my African friends.
That's when you got multiple wives.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what he fully meant by that.
It might just he want to be with multiple people.
Well, I said that's the culture. He's saying that's the culture. Let me recognize a few other people on the screen. Can you scroll up for me? I just need to see some green. Yeah, we got Tammy Williams in the house. Gregory Brantley.
Hey,
Miss Teresa.
Teresa.
No, Teresa.
Oh, what? Teresa.
We got Denise Phillips, Natalie, Sharita. What's that? Miss Net. Tammy, Diane, Teresa, Merlanda, Jeff, Courtney, and we got a great group here. Gina, Tasha, Arthur, Roscoe, Cameron, Faye, who's that? Gayla Pucci. I like that. Kara, Rhonda, Nathan, Ginger. Oh man, we got a heavy set tonight. Laura, Kenya. We got Miss Latoya in the house tonight. And so, man, thank you folks so much for being with us. We again hope that we're putting on a decent show. It's not really designed to be showmanship, but we think these subjects are worthy of a great dialogue. We're all starting to grow a little bit more with each set of dialogue. I know the first two or three segments have been pretty powerful for me on the subject because as I started trying to break this subject down, I'm trying to get to, what are the key points in this discussion. And so let me go ahead and share the topic again for those of you who might be just joining us. Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
I'm like Jeffrey. Hell no.
Now, we've talked a little bit already about, as one of the key points in the question is honestly. Do you honestly think? Do you honestly perceive, and so that means you got to take a real look at the situation. And there may be some behaviors that are suspect, but you've never questioned it. You've never wanted to talk about it. You've never really brought it down to cheating. You just noticed some pockets of empty space that they're missing in certain times, coming home late, maybe leaving early, having a very sporadic schedule, etc. And so now you're asking yourself the question, is this person only having sex with me?
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for?
Now, hold on. Before we go to look for it,
Okay.
let's talk about the situation that you might be in. Because
Okay.
if you just dating,
Okay.
why are you looking?
Okay.
I really don't see. Sometimes a lot of people jump into like a relationship when you're dating. So you start looking for these things while you in a dating phase.
Right.
You're looking for the wrong thing. Why are you looking for a person to just be solely with you and you already know you're in a dating phase? That's kind of wrong. You put them in the wrong category. So now that you're dating and you're talking to him and then you notice his phone going off and all of a sudden he's not giving you all that attention, you automatically gonna go to a dating phase and you're gonna be like, hold on, he's doing something. But the bottom line is, he is, because you're already put him in a category that he did not take on ownership
Let me give you
of that.
Let me give you a real scenario.
I'm
right?
just talking dating now, bro.
Okay, you're dating someone.
Dating.
You've been out on your third date. You're hanging out. You're close. You're cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but before y'all started dating, that you had a piece that just took care of your needs. It was a maintenance woman, a maintenance lady. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
that's what
Side
y'all did.
piece.
Y'all
Right.
took care of each other.
Whenever we back.
And so at the end of the third date, you got to go home early. So you go home at 10 o'clock, and you reach back out to him after the date, just trying to talk to him, say goodnight, chatterbox on the phone, whatever.
Right.
And he's not picking up the phone.
Okay.
So now you be like, okay, well, why ain't he answering my phone? We've been talking every day, every night. We've been on dates. Now he's not. Now he's unavailable.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, you discover that he's having sex with an old flame. Now, all you're doing is dating.
Right. Just dating.
All you're doing is dating. But
Just dating.
you find out that person done went out and been blowing somebody else's back up in your dating phase.
Right. Just dating.
You will absolutely change your mind about that person.
You can.
And it doesn't matter
You can.
what the situation is.
Okay.
What you are seeing is a character that they have, that they could be dating you even without commitment and just go ahead and having flings throughout the week, throughout the night. So, you still want to be asking yourself the question. You have to ask
Honestly,
yourself.
am I the only one?
Am I the only
honestly,
one?
you're not.
And even before you ask the question, am I the only person he's having sex with? I might ask the question: am I the only one she's dating with, or he's dating with?
See, there you go. Now you open up the dialogue.
Yeah, but you open up dialogue. But let me just tell y'all about this dialogue, because you mentioned that a little earlier. Nobody's telling the truth, man. Nobody's coming forth. We got probably less than 5% of the people who come forth and say the truth. Otherwise, so you can't count on that, because it's not happening. We know what we ought to do. We're supposed to be, but
we don't do it.
Well, we don't do it. So now you got to go and hunt for some information if you're vested, and that's in dating. Right?
You know I got this.
Now you got to go and start critiquing the situation. Okay, Wednesday night he was gone. He ain't got no explanation. He ain't say nothing. He don't really owe me no explanation. She don't really owe me no explanation, but something was going on. So now I'm be like, okay, I need to pull back a little bit, because it might have somebody else doing some other thing. So let me just go ahead and pull back, because I'm thinking that they're having sex with somebody else. And I think it is a breakage of trust, even though it hadn't been discussed.
Right.
It's kind of a breakage of one's trust to go out and be having sex with somebody else, even during dating.
It can be.
Unless you both just realizing that it's just a fling. We've all known and had relationships where it was just that. You know what I mean? It was just Cookie Monster, and let's go ahead and break bread on that level. Yeah. But if you're trying to date somebody, you're trying to be a man, woman, y'all talking about, y'all on the phone really talking, vibing one another, and telling each other that you don't have nobody else. You can't be out messing around during those things because you'll blow
I would say I've been in situations where I've dated in dating and going out. We didn't talk about monogamous relationships. We just went out. It wasn't a conversation.
Right.
It wasn't.
Right.
Now, when they came out and asked me, and they came blatant, straight out and asked me, was I sleeping with somebody else? I told them yes. Now, most people wouldn't.
That's a.
But one of the things you gotta
time.
understand is you asked me directly, so I feel like I need to give you a direct answer. I don't have to beat around the bush with that one because bottom line is, you're gonna make a decision right then and there. And a lot of times you're scared that person might leave you.
What decision you think they gonna make?
Bottom line is decide. Well, half of them did.
Well,
because again, we was dating, so
Yeah.
they found out the truth. It was hurtful. But the bottom line, I don't feel like I have to sit here and lie to control that situation.
Yeah.
They have I want to make sure they have their own options as well.
Right.
So if they choose to walk away, that is their choice.
Right.
People feel that they don't want to give people a choice. They want to manipulate. It's like politics.
Yes, 'cause they
I'm
don't
gonna
think
give
they're
you
gonna
the
get-
best scenario for my agenda.
Right.
It's just for me.
Right.
You're gonna get the end of the cookie. You're gonna get the entrails of which you probably don't even care for.
Right.
When you do it that way. When you at least be on the upfront, that person can sit back and be
I
like,
know.
okay, we didn't really talk about this. And then it starts another dialogue.
Yeah, but the reality is that people aren't coming for it.
No, they're not. And then people don't always ask.
Cheating requires catching. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta remember now one thing. Now, if you're just dating, it's really not cheating.
Yeah, if you're just
You're not in a
just
relationship. It's not cheating.
So
You're just not. You want to be in a position where you don't want that to happen.
Let's talk about you in a relationship.
Okay.
You're in a relationship.
Okay.
And you start thinking that the other person is doing something.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Let's go in there. What do you look for? What do you?
I try to do something that's a little bit the opposite of what a lot of people might look at. If my lady's spending more time with her girlfriend, I'm the kind of person that want to start spending more time with her. Because a lot of time what strays her away is half the time is you. You're not paying her that much attention, so she's going to find it somewhere else. I mean, so my whole thing is trying to seek her attention back where you want it. It's you. But you got to find ways to do it. You got to be creative. Now, remember, you was creative to catch her. You got to find creative ways to keep her.
Okay, but Jay, you ain't going to be, I don't think you're going to be that rational if you think she be out messing around.
No, you got to remember, if you think she out there messing around and she's starting to go out, at this point, this is where you got to head off. You can't just let it keep on going and then think, yeah, you're going to be too emotionally tied already with the negative. You allow that to play in your head. You're going to play on your own emotions. That's you at that point. You got to catch it early on. Early on and deal with it early on. I don't have to come with aggression. I don't have to come with anger. I don't know, right?
So how do you come with?
I come sensible where I don't come at her like I do know.
Tell me
I come at her.
I'm her. Come at me.
No. Well, this ATL. We don't do that here.
No,
what we gonna do?
Go ahead,
I'm
third party.
look this way and
Go
talk
ahead.
to you.
Go ahead.
No, but I'm gonna come to her and you seem like you've been pulled away. Am I doing something that you just don't like? Now, normally when I say this, nah, you're doing everything right. If I'm doing everything right, it sure don't seem like it. Because you used to do a lot of things for me, and it seems like now you're just pulling totally away. Well, you just don't show me the same attention. Now you just told me everything was good. Now you started to tell me some things.
Right.
Oh, I don't show you as much. You know, I got this going on, I got that. You always say that. You know something? I think you just need to be by yourself. See, people start telling on themselves.
They start telling on themselves.
No,
yes.
When you start giving them another way of talking about a situation, because they do want to talk, but they feel like you ain't listening. I told you some things. You ain't listening. So guess what?
Yeah, but you got to keep this in mind in that conversation. The person you are dealing with, if perhaps they have cheated, is already a bold-faced liar.
Yeah.
You're coming up with the notion that, hey, something's going on here. You know what I mean? Like, something ain't right. You know what I mean? Your sex habits changing. You've been a little unavailable. You've been kind of pulling away from me. You always got these sporadic meetings that, I don't know where you are or what you're doing. It's late. a lot can be going on. You know what I mean? You come in and, you know, I can name you all kinds of scenarios I've seen in my day that you might experience. But she's already a liar. She's already a cheater. And so now what you're trying to do is say, well, I'm just going to, you know, try to reel her back in. I think you might be a little more upset than that.
I mean,
and
you
think
gotta
that you
understand
might.
now, this is before you really know. This is what you asking. This is early on.
Yeah.
In the early on stages, I don't let anger just take over when I don't know.
Right.
That's like when you seek, you find.
You
But
don't-
the bottom line, you don't know.
You don't know.
First time she's out, she stayed out later than normal. You just don't want to go
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You don't want.
I want to go deep on in when you realize
that's so fun.
that
We got a lot of
you
time.
realize that this thing is going
now,
down,
now
man.
see,
What are you
now
gonna do?
Now you want to get that. Now on that end, if we don't my relationship, because you got me in a relationship.
Okay.
Now at this point, yeah, we ain't gonna be calm no more, bro.
We're not gonna be calm.
There's no more calm.
But you don't still have all the facts, but you
I don't
you sense
have,
it big
but
time.
I sense, and then again, my gut tells me a lot.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, how you treat me tells me a whole lot more.
Right.
So a lot of times, people play you because you really don't pay attention,
Right.
and that's how they play you. But how you play them back is I do. Just because you don't think I pay attention, and I show you that I don't got time to pay you some attention, that's when you do.
Right.
I watch how you dress.
Right.
I watch how you go out.
Yeah.
Before you used to go out, go to the store, no perfume. You
Right.
just went out right.
Right.
Now you smelling all good, tight outfit. You dressing way different than you used to.
Right.
Because now you showing somebody else the goods.
Right.
You want somebody else to see how sexy you are. Because I'm not saying it.
Right.
So it's like, okay.
Okay.
So that's where you want to be.
Right.
Now, once I emotionally check out,
Yeah.
it's over.
It's over.
It's no
Yeah.
need to try to come back and fix what's already been totally broken.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is to try to get you to a point where before it gets totally broken. So again, I might just say, okay, you dress nicely. I like how you dress. Well, me and you just go out instead of you going out with your girls. Now I'm gonna throw this out there, even though in my mind I already know she already gonna say no. I'm already made my plan, but I want to give her an option. I want to see if this worth saving.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give her an option. You know something, you look good. Let me go ahead and take a shower. Let me see if I can get dressed with you. Now she has the option to either go out with the person she been going out with and enjoy herself, or kind of kindle to the person that she chose.
Yeah.
She
And-
chose me.
and
Now
listen-
when she says,
Yeah.
"Oh, now you want to go out. Now that I'm all dressed and everything. Maybe next time." Oh, bro.
Well,
Oh, we're about to tear.
listen.
What?
Listen.
You want to hear?
What you're dealing with here is a certified, bona fide
Liar.
liar.
And I'm
right?
about to bonafide get in their ass.
So
She started.
everything that she's saying to you is going to be game, right?
Right.
Everything that he says to you, if ladies, if you're in this situation, he's running game. So you can't trust none of that. None of your questions are ever going to get answered properly. You're just going to have to find, you don't have to catch them in the act, and that's where I want to go to. See, you know, my question was, if you catch somebody, if you think somebody's having sex with someone else, what are you going to do? And the first thing is you're going to clarify in your own mind, is this really suspect activity I'm seeing, right? And once you've realized it's suspect activity, now you're going to have to start going to find some facts to line up with your suspicion, right? Just the nature of the process.
Sound like you got this
And-
all written out there, Craig.
Well, you know, I done seen a few things, you know.
Got a little private
I
investigator.
done seen a few things, right? I went online and I found a whole lot of behaviors that people exemplify when they're cheating. And we're going to talk about them because they're really simple, but if you don't pay attention, you'll miss them.
Okay.
And so you folks stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and take another break. And we're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay with the smooth sounds from Craftmatic.
Welcome back.
Man, on break. Now that we back.
Turn me up.
So, man, Craft.
Understand. All right.
I guess I want to know about these signs for we can have a good time finding out how somebody doing some things behind when you thought you was just with that person.
Right.
Now, again, this show is just to get a conversation going. We're not saying everybody do it. We will say it's happening a lot. But can you know your partner better?
Right.
I like to say that's the thing.
Right.
Can you know your partner better and make better relationships, better sex, better understanding?
Right.
That's what we aiming for. But it's going to be totally up to you. So, Kraft, go ahead and give us some of them cheats on what the behavior might be. And I'll tell you my personal.
Well, I can tell you this,
What you got,
that all of the answers
Mm.
are in their cell phone.
Oh, that's why I keep mine locked. Hey, hell no. Oh, boy, stop.
If you have any
Oh, you ain't
questions
touching my phone.
about whether your
No.
significant other is cheating,
No.
I'll promise you,
Mm-mm.
all of the answers
Mm-mm.
are in your cell phone.
Nope.
Are in their cell phone.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, because there is a there's one of the very premier things that the studies show is that there's a lot of cell phone secrecy.
Crap, I will
And-
break my phone for that.
I know you
Wow,
will.
you can have that. Nah, player, no.
Hey, but listen, I'll take the broken pieces. Don't worry about it.
You get what
You
with
go
it.
ahead and I'll get you another
You
phone.
didn't buy it. You didn't anything.
Well, you done broke it. I'll just go and take it with
Nah,
me.
nah, I gotta take it
probably
back.
can
I
retrieve
got
your
insurance.
memory.
I got insurance. I got to turn it in. I
Oh,
got to
you
turn.
won't need insurance.
gotta turn it in.
I'll take care of it for you.
No.
Right? Typically, text messages, cell phones, emails, etc., will begin the process of cheating, and someone else is making plans to be with somebody else that day, that night. You can kind of see the text messages coming together, like I'm here, or I'll be there at 3:15. I can't get off. Give me an extra 30 minutes. Da 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 da. A lot of cell phone secrecy. A lot of variable in schedules. The variable in schedules is designed to throw you off, right? Oh, I got to work late. A lot can happen inside of an hour, So I was supposed to get off at 5, but I get off at 6, and they might have left right at 5, and a lot of things can go on in an hour.
Our boy Phil said don't take 3 minutes.
Yeah, last minute changes. And how about people who were constantly in contact with you, and now they're no longer in contact with you? Right?
What you saying? How that works?
Like they used to call you all the time, and love up on you, and be on the phone with you all the time, and then all of a sudden they decide they don't have time.
Because they're leveling up on somebody else.
Loving up on somebody else.
I said they cheating. The cheaters cheat.
Finding them perhaps absent in the day or in the evenings. Maybe leaving early for work, again coming home late for work. Here's another thing.
What's that?
Low sexual activity. That the behavior of a cheater will change. They might have already gotten their fix by the time they get home. Which means that real spunky little woman that you always get home to, and she real spunky, and all of a sudden she's ready to go to bed and tired and
He put it
want to
on.
watch TV and
He done broke.
I'm
mad now.
That guy who
He
always
did a better job.
comes home and he ready to get it in, and all of a sudden he ain't ready to get it in. And I'm not to suggest
She
that.
still should be spunky. I mean,
Yeah,
they
listen.
normally do it more.
Listen, if on a regular basis that's who she is, you've decided and recognized that that's who she is, but then all of a sudden those behaviors start to change, right? One of the studies say that your significant other will try to always butter you up. They'll always feed your ego with sweet words, and they'll be coming at you from to the left, like you're just such a good person, such a good man. I really like what you do, and the studies basically suggest that the person who is cheating, who is having sex with someone else outside of your knowledge, is experiencing some pretty extreme dark emotions. They are fighting within themselves to this breakage of relationship that they are having, and they are down on themselves. They oftentimes talk about mood swings. They talk about, they even talk about sometimes how the other person will start arguments. They'll start an argument.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, and
That's to get you out of the house.
yeah.
I do
Well,
that.
if you start an argument, then you might not have to make love to him tonight because you already made love to somebody that day.
Oh no, I never fought together.
You see what I mean?
I fought together the house so I can go do somebody else.
Yeah.
I ain't fought.
No, I'm just
I do it
suggesting
and then leave. I don't care.
Yeah, you a guy.
Nasty.
You
Nasty.
Yeah.
Talking about why you all sticky. Got water.
They'll oftentimes try to be busy during the times that you all wanted to, or typically might have relations throughout the evening. But you know, I think there's a lot of inner turmoil going on in the person who might be having the affair. You just might notice some fragrances on them that aren't yours.
Oh, another
They
man
just-
alone? Oh Lord.
Yeah, or maybe even a different smell of soap, right? I had a chick one time, came home smelling like fresh soap.
Hold on.
And you know, we weren't doing good, so I can understand she might want to go out and get a thing off.
Did she smell like Coast? You know, if she smell like Coast, I'm just gonna say it up front, bro. I'm sorry. You know, that's just my
No, she smelled like Dove.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when she smell like Coast, that's because they had no other kind of soap in the crib. I mean, about let her wash up.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
So yeah, if the woman come home and she smell like Coast, yeah. What happened was she came down my block.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of changes in their shower patterns. You might see changes in their hygiene. You might see changes just in the way they treat you overall. It's important to pay attention to the behavior of the people who you are with, because they're constantly sending you signals that they're happy, they're not. They may be spending more time away from you or not. When you pay attention, you might start asking deeper questions like, what's really going on? Is this person not really wanting to be around me? Is this person seeking somebody else? I had a long-term relationship in my past, and she cheated on me. And I caught her, and so on and so forth. And over the many years, you know, people would always ask me questions like, why do you think she cheated? And one of the notions I came to, and I think this is probably my answer, is that she had more freak than I could tend to. That no matter what well, here's the point. No matter what I would have done, good, bad, or indifferent, she was going to go and get a second set of, attention from somewhere, right? And so it really didn't have anything to do with me. She was just tempted by someone on the outside.
You married a nympho.
I could have married a nympho.
Yeah.
It could have been a nympho.
Yeah, two nympho.
Is that a nympho?
That's a nympho, bro.
We call it nympho when women do it, but when men do it, we call it what?
Oh.
Playa.
Me out.
What we call it?
Dog.
Dogs. Okay. Men are dogs and women are
Oh,
nymphos,
whatever.
right? Men are dogs, women are nymphos.
Man, it's
Is that it?
nymphos, period. It's
No,
just,
no, it's actually the same. Nympho is just somebody that
nymphos
loves
don't
sex.
matter.
Yeah, somebody in love with sex,
Yeah.
and they have an interest in sex, and if a door opens outside of the relationship, they just might take advantage of that because they're in love with sex.
That's just
And
sex.
yeah, nowadays women have a lot more man mindset. They think like men. And a lot of times they sometimes just want to hit it and quit it and just go and get theirs, or maybe it's they want a new partner, or they want to partner with this, that, and the other, or again sometimes it's just air an opportunity, and I got a chance to get my freak on. Nobody know anything about it, and I can go home and take a shower and be done with it, and never have to pay it any attention anymore. But ultimately, what comes out of them is a whole expression of guilt, and they oftentimes don't recognize how their behavior has changed, but everybody around them can. So just encouraging folks to pay attention to some of those things that may be happening, because if they're cheating on you, you got to get it. You got to get to the bottom of it. And if you're not getting to the bottom of it, you're willing to be cheated on. You're willing to have sex with them while they are having sex with someone else, and potentially putting yourself in a dangerous position. And there's just a lot of love out there. There's just too many opportunities for happiness rather than being dogged by somebody.
Right.
And we have yet to talk about the pain that is created in those scenarios. And I want to talk a little bit about that when we get back. And I guess I'm talking to the people who've been cheated on because I'm trying to have empathy for those, but I really want the people who are cheating to hear the message, because the message is that you're really destroying some people who can't handle that kind of stuff and setting them back years. And we're going to talk about that a little more after the break. Any comments on that, Jay?
Yeah, I got to count out. It's one of the things I always want to say. You might not always mean to cheat, but truthfully, you do. And the reason I say that is, again, you be like, I didn't set forth to get in a relationship with a person just to do that. But in the back of your mind, you never was settled. You never got everything out. And if you're a nympho, and that's a person that love to have sex,
Right.
I've learned that you need to have that conversation with the person you with instead of holding. A lot of times we like to hold secrets.
I don't know how much difference that gonna make, Jay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, when you a nympho and you ain't telling the person you with, and they ain't really hitting, and it ain't really working, guess what?
Yeah.
You're gonna tend to continue to do what you've been doing way before her.
Before them. That's
And
exactly
that's
right.
where I like to say some of the problems lie. I didn't want to get in that relationship to cheat.
Right.
But I end up because, again, I did not express and I did not let her know more about me.
Right.
And then I felt like that might scare her away.
Right.
Again, that took away an option.
Yeah.
So
Because-
that's not being what?
'Cause you-
Being truthful.
Right. But
I
you didn't want her to know that you needed it every night.
I needed it way more than she was giving it to me.
Okay.
Now, is that really fair to her, though? By me
No,
not
absolutely.
telling?
No,
right.
it's not fair. It's
So
not fair at all.
I kept it, and I'm doing it on the side because I know it's not fair to her. I'm cheating her again. So again, you didn't enter this for that reason.
Right.
But this is where it comes to, not saying this is the case as for all cheating. No, I'm just giving a small scenario.
Right.
It's very small. But this is one that you can give her a better option by telling her on the upfront. She might have been holding back. She might have had the freakiness in her that she always wanted to give you, but she thought you might not be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, that's why some people stay together after the cheating. Because again, that conversation, I don't believe you was out there doing all this. I ain't think you can handle all this. What you mean handle? You ain't did nothing. What you talking about? Next thing you know, they going out like birds in a feather,
Yeah.
acting like no other. But the bottom line, they never had that conversation. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things that a lot of people. I had a person that told me the guy cheated on her, and she said if he just would have told me he was into all that, we could have did that.
Right. And you a big advocate for just all this telling, and it don't happen.
I mean,
you are an anomaly in the world. That's not the way the world works.
They tell
You
me
ain't
this
gonna-
crap. I be talking.
You
they
ain't gonna-
telling me
You
that.
ain't gonna tell your spouse that you a nymphomaniac. Ain't nobody in the
What?
world gonna tell.
Who the hell ain't?
Well, I mean,
I tell you. Hey, listen. I
mean,
like it.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't like no whips. I
Yeah.
don't like to be bit, and you ain't burning shit. You forget all that.
Yeah, nobody's gonna really say that, but you can start to see that your spouse or significant other may have, way more sexual energy than you. Or that you are incongruent in some areas and they may want to do some things that you don't want to do. And so now they're going to start going out, getting the sex somewhere else. I think we need to talk about, I'd like to talk about that a little more. I want to talk about the hurt people feel about cheating. And I want to talk about when one's freakiness exceeds their significant other. Because there's something got to change, something got to give if they're going to stay together. So let's go ahead and take a break and come back and talk about those two items. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
All right. We back with Bar Talk with Jay. If y'all hear a voice out from the side, that's gonna be C. C got some things he want to say as well. Okay. We slapping that thing. Oh. Kraft said somebody cheating on him.
Some bad conscience. Some bad conscience. Turn me up a little bit, man.
Oh my goodness. Again, tonight we are trying to get to the root of all the cheating, and we're trying to also have a better understanding of what goes on.
Yeah, and see these questions. Let me go ahead and give you folks a topic. Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you? Ouch. And something is gonna make you feel like something is going on, and it could just be the sex itself.
I mean, when you say the sex itself, what are you saying?
Well, let me ask you a question, right? I've asked this question to a couple people before, right?
Uh-huh.
You wear a size 10, right?
No.
10 and a half, 11, 12. Which
11 and a half, 12.
11 and a half, 12. Let's say you wear a size 12. I wear 10 and a half, right? You wear 12. Let's say somebody who wear 12 and a half or 13 put your shoe on. And they wear it for a little while.
Ready to beat, but keep going.
Yeah. That they gonna take them shoes off and put it back in the closet like you never knew it.
It's gonna stretch them out.
And what happens when you put your foot back in that shoe?
You ain't gonna feel the same.
It's gonna feel stretched out.
It's gonna feel different.
That's what I mean by the sex might be different.
Crazy! Somebody done stretch your woman! Man, I hate to say! You better put some lemon juice on it! Tighten it up! Put a belt or something tight! Get it back!
Listen.
I want my stuff back! Better soak your ass in Epsom salt!
Listen, every man done felt that. You know what I'm saying? Every man done felt like, hey.
You better not alert with them inner abs or something.
That shit don't work, bro.
Yeah, it took too much.
Yeah, it took too much.
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah. He was like, I can't compete with that.
No.
I'm going about my business.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
She be like, what's wrong? You should already do.
Let me go find an Asian woman or something, you know.
I don't know what you was messing with, but hey, whatever it was, wasn't human.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So again, a lot of things could be leading up to you discovering that this person is having sex, or leading up to you making an honest assessment of the situation. For those people who are being cheated on, I just want to say that it is a very, very tough road to discover such a thing. Your intuition may be telling you something, their behavior may be telling you something, and you can't put a finger on it. Why? Because they don't mean for you to put a finger on it. It is purposely kept out of your field of connection so that you can't see it, you can't figure it out, you can never discover it. They hide, cheaters and liars hide things very well. And so at a certain point, you're going to be filled with a notion to do something. What that is you do could be as extreme as just packing up your bags and leaving. And someone asked me one time, would you pack up your bags and leave without proof? Hell yeah, I would. Because I can already sense that something dark is going on. You know, our spirits are really designed to be able to sense the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Our whole spirit, you know the difference between right and wrong and what is true. And our spirits aren't designed to be deceived, but sometimes we don't know how to listen to our intuitions. We don't know how to listen to that still small voice inside that says something is going on here, or they're not being loyal to you, or their behavior is suggesting that they might want somebody else. And I've always been of the notion that if my partner or significant other wants someone else, if they might be cheating on me and they want somebody else, I want to send them on to their greatest destiny. And I have done so a few occasions without even telling them why I sent them on. Right? I didn't have to expose to them what I knew. And by the way, I know an awful lot through prayer. God can reveal all the secrets of the world and the universe can be revealed through your relationship with God and petitioning to God for understanding and answers. And He'll lead you and guide you, but you can't just ignore the situation, man. You can't just ignore it. It's a hurtful thing to be cheated on. Just think about someone who is very earnest, and they're loving, and they're giving, and they're supportive, and they're trying to be a great spouse or a great significant other. to their mate. And the whole time that they're giving their best, they're being slighted because someone else may be selfish, because someone else cannot come forth with the truth. That can hurt people a lot. You know, that has brought people way down, because most people can't diagnose the difference. You know, they blame themselves. I must be a bad person. I must have did something wrong. I must not be lovable. And they start beating themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, that's not the way to go. You know, the way to go is to realize that had really nothing to do with you. It may have had some things to do with you, but you didn't tell them to go out and disgrace you and cheat on you. So just some ideas you got to wake up to. You know.
Now I'm gonna tell you some. I'm gonna give y'all another scenario because I dated. I've dated some people that was messing with other people.
Okay.
I knew it.
And you knew it.
I mean, when I say I knew it, they told me, but I knew it. I didn't care.
And you didn't have any problems with that.
Because I was just dating.
Right.
I didn't want to judge them. Why would I judge somebody I don't know?
Right.
So by them telling me this, it made me realize that they had some honesty in them, because they didn't have to bring that information to me.
Right.
But they brought it and I didn't judge them.
Right.
Okay? But the number one thing is, I still treat people how I want to be treated. And they like how I was treating them.
Right.
And later on, they came back and they told me things that really made me like, wow. Because there's like, no one else really listened to me the way you did. No one else treated me after knowing what I was doing how you did. And my whole thing is, just because, and it's just like a hoe. You don't have to treat a hoe like a hoe. She's still a person.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, she might have been with all them, but you chose to be with her.
Right.
That's you.
Right.
But you don't gotta downgrade anyone. You don't have to tear anybody down. Bottom line, she did you a just.
She did
But
you a favor.
yeah, when we did us and she did her thing, oh, she was on one. Okay, deuces. She
Deuces.
good. But to talk about her, why? It's not necessary. But we do it because it makes us bigger. How it makes you bigger, and that's what you chose to do. That's what I didn't understand, and I don't really like. But guess what? Everybody do themselves. But I really feel like you don't have to disrespect and put people down, knowing good and well your behind was with them. Right. You did this stuff.
Right.
But oh man, that girl ain't nothing, and you got nothing positive to say.
Right.
But you had no problem jumping in the bed with her.
Right.
But besides that, she ain't nothing. Okay, so now you're making it just that way.
Right.
Not talking about how you had to play all the way up on her, where everybody else was just able just to get in.
Right.
You begged your way in. But now, since she said you wasn't that good and you wasn't putting it down,
right.
Now she ain't crap, and you talking about it in a negative way.
Right.
Like I said, people wear themselves or put their feelings on their sleeve. And I really feel like you need to check yourself. Because again, I hear it when I hear somebody downing somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, why are you so negative towards that person? You're talking about her action, but you was a part of her action.
Perhaps.
And I'm just listening, and I'm just talking about somebody that's with somebody, and they talking about them so negatively.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, it don't make me curious to go run after them at all. My whole thing is looking at the hurt of what they obviously gave you.
Right.
Because they ain't talking about you. You taking the time to talk about them.
Yeah.
And I hear it all the time. But
Yeah.
one of the things I
sometimes
was...
it's just frustration.
It is.
You know?
But one of the things I was trying to get back to is the people I was talking to back then when I was dating, and they was talking to other people. They end up stop dealing with the people that they was messing with. Because again, I was single. They was messing with married people. And while they was messing with the married people, that's what they felt like they wanted to do. But they really didn't. They really wanted to be with just a person. But no one really came along, and it fit them at that time.
Right.
So guess what? When they changed their mind, that's not what they wanted. They changed. The number one thing I love is I didn't ask them to change. They changed on their own.
Right.
Because again, people want what they want. I love that. But the one thing, if I judged them, I would have never took the time, and they would have never went to that other place. They would have kept doing what they was doing.
Right.
They would have enjoyed what they was enjoying because it fit that moment.
Right.
It's a bigger moment because they had a bigger purpose. Regardless if they stay with me or not, they have a bigger purpose. I want them to fulfill their purpose.
Yes.
It's more than they wanted than just that. But at that moment they did it. And guess what? It's just a lesson learned. It's not making them less of a person just because they did it. It doesn't. Just for a person, a guy, go out there and get with multiple people when you're just dating. Doesn't make you a less of a man. What makes you less of a man is how you treat that woman.
Okay.
How you treat her children.
Okay.
Do not do that. That it makes me look less than you. Not a person out there doing all that. That's sucking or whatever. Cover yourself, protect yourself, do the best you can. But the bottom line, how are you treating the women? You don't have to degrade. You don't have to look at them and talk to them like they ain't nothing.
So if you catch your lady cheating, what do you say to her, Joe?
No, hold on. Again, if we just dating, I don't know.
No, we're not
that ain't
dating.
cheating.
You're in a relationship.
But we're in a relationship, what I got to say?
What do you say to her? I mean, you know.
Get the hell on. What you mean? Oh, you thought I was going to say something nice? No, ain't nothing nice.
Well,
Man, you might tear the room.
You was just defending all of that.
That was you dating, bro. Now you talking about me. Oh, no. You supposed to just be with me. Now you with everybody else? Oh, you had to get them shoes, them red bottoms. No, you leave them $3,000. No, you leave them red bottoms.
Leave them red bottoms, yeah.
You leave all that expensive stuff I bought. And everything else that he took and took care of your behind, then take that on. Because again, that's a hurtful thing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship. We made that whole commitment that we gonna ride. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're just dating, it ain't all there. And you can't put dating in a relationship always together. But I'm gonna tell you one thing I appreciate and I recognize.
Right.
I've met some people that's so strong and I didn't know it, that they made me want to be. I wasn't groomed for marriage. I wasn't looking for it.
Okay.
But for a person that showed me that they'll ride with me and align with me,
right.
and alignment is huge with me. Understand where I'm going, and you're not trying to derail me. I'm willing to give up half. I'm willing to give up whatever.
Okay.
Because at that point, that person is pushing me to my greatest potential.
Right.
I love that more than my money. Material things only mean so much. Some people are like, yo, I would never get married because I ain't trying to lose half. That's because you're stuck on your material things.
Yeah.
If a person pushes you for greatness, whatever you had is nothing compared to what you're about to receive. You got to understand the power that was already there, and they just enhanced it. You got more power, and you would get more wealth, so then half don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Happiness means everything, because I was already happy. She aligned with me. Now we're happy. Now we're happily getting it together. I have no will to want to cheat. Right. I have no will to want to go do the things that she thought I used to do.
Right.
Remember the used to. I did all that. She know I did that. She's not even looking for me to do that because she's fulfilling and pushing.
So watch this and see it like this. This is just a quick statistic that I pulled up. In 1991 study, sex researcher found that 70% of married women have cheated on their partners.
70%?
2 years later, a follow-up study found that 72% of married men have as well. A study in Chicago said that 25% of married men have at least one marital affair throughout their life. We're talking about 70% of couples and married folk are cheating on each other. And so there's all kinds of signs that are flying and floating all over the place. Either you don't want to discover the truth or you're just not paying attention. It is happening way more than we're giving it credit for. Bosses are cheating with their employees, and wives cheating with neighbors, and moms cheating with the football coach, their son's football coach, and people cheating with the pastor, and it's just a whole lot of cheating going on. 70% is a very, very strong number, man. And and basically, it's saying that when they say a long-term affair, these long-term affairs usually last, from 6 months to approximately 2 years.
2 years of cheating?
6 months to 2 years. All right. For both men and women, long-term affairs can arise from unhappy marriage when one or both partners feel unappreciated,
That's what my
unappreciated
ass
or undervalued. So people
I'm
are
done.
not getting their needs
done.
met in relationships.
I'm done.
They are getting their needs met outside of the home.
Mm.
And there is a great deal more of cheating going on than anybody has ever suspected. 70% is the strongest number I have ever heard. And these statistics from people, statisticians, people who really take a pulse in the marketplace. What do we do, man? What do we do?
What you mean we do?
We
Stay
fire
single. This is ridiculous.
We stay single and we
stay
start
single.
firing people from our lives.
Hey,
Because
it's
if you see
ridiculous.
it, it's real, and you might stay for the bread and butter on the table, or the money, or the
The
fear
bread
of
butter
being
got
alone.
cheated on.
But don't stay in a relationship, man, with somebody's cheating on you. And obviously, it's happening way more
This
than
is
we ever do.
heartbreaking.
So we're gonna go ahead and close out the
Why?
show. We hope that we have done this subject a good
I
job,
doubt it.
because it's a tough subject to attack, because if you're cheating, if you're a cheater, you're probably defending yourself, and if you're being cheated on, you're probably crying, saying somebody understands my pain. Either way, take a look at it. The topic for tonight has been: do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is the only person having sex with you? Can be a slap in the face if you want it to. We want to thank you folks for coming out. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and we're all just about self-analysis and taking a look at your situation so that you can become your greatest possibility. We hope you'll join us week after week with Facebook Live on Thursdays. Just go find Bar Talk with Jay, and you can see us posting about 5 or 10 minutes before the 7 o'clock hour every single week. We have a history of material, more than 100 shows of great material, with great dialogue. If you like talk radio, we are where you want to be. So continue to subscribe and like us and chime in next week.
No, not next week. 4th of July will be next Thursday.
Okay.
I want to give us a break. I want everybody to enjoy the 4th.
Okay.
For all y'all that
No
don't
show for next
celebrate
week.
it. Yeah. We gonna take a break because
Okay.
again we've been going hard in the paint.
We have.
And then we're revamping Bar Talk with Jack.
Yeah, you about
It's
to hear
gonna go
some
studio version.
Yes.
I got great people in my corner.
Yeah.
I want to say in the crib, but no, I got great people in my corner that's gonna revamp everything, and we're gonna start putting things out differently. So don't just look for the old way. It's gonna be some improvements. The sound, the quality,
The picture.
and again, but I love to say the integrity
Yeah.
stays the same. Yeah.
Integrity stays the same because we
This
got
is
a lot of it
saying,
in the
oh,
show.
we got that. We got a little craziness, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
All right.
We're gonna make some changes. Stick with us, and we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.